So a famous author, political activist, and lecturer once said, "You will succeed if you persevere, and you will find joy in overcoming obstacles." This individual was none other than Helen Keller. So in 1904, she was the first blind deaf person to graduate with a Bachelor of Arts degree, and in doing so, she overcame many of the obstacles that she faced in her life. But unfortunately, a lot of people who have disabilities won't ever become as successful as Helen Keller was. My claim today that despite this success story, many visually impaired in the population are being left behind. And I have 3 examples that are going to hopefully bring us all to the same conclusion. My first are statistics from the National Federation of the Blind, which states that less than 10% of legally blind are even able to read Braille. Over 50% of the visually impaired students won't ever graduate high school, and the unemployment rate for blind population is over 62%, which in comparison the national average is under 4%. Second is a quote from Virginia Jacko, who is the CEO of the Miami Lighthouse for the blind, and in one of her articles, "Let's Give the Blind Better Access to Learning," she gives some examples of how some of the best technology that the blind have today still are having lots of troubles. And I quote, "The most frequent issues involving websites that are not accessible or are very difficult to use. Screen reader software is unable to read graphics that do not include a text component. Other complaints we hear involve professors who send emails with attachments that are scanned documents rather than text that can be rendered by screen reading software. Another issue is that some websites have automatic continuous instant messaging updates or continuous chats which need to have a link to be disabled then because screen reading software frequently garbles the constant changing text. And this software that these people are paying for is usually $1,000 to $10,000, and it's not even working as efficiently as it should be." And last is some examples I have from Christina Stentonova, who is the CEO and founder of a digital Braille tablet, which is supposed to revolutionize how visually impaired people get their information, yet it's not accessible to the public yet. And she gives examples that visually impaired people have. So first is that they're digitally excluded, that the same information that we have access to online is way too expensive to transfer over to hard copies of Braille or for these individuals to get digital screen reading software. Second, their poor literacy, which makes them not even be able to be up to date on current issues or educated. Third is they're socially excluded, and this is an indirect factor based off of being digitally excluded, poor literacy, unemployment, and difficulties that they have navigating the physical world. And I hope that all this information will help us all come to the conclusion that people who are visually disabled are being left behind, and hopefully inspire some of us to be able to reach out and come up with solutions to help some of these people not just survive in our world, but also thrive.